Now that I know that this threat is exaggerated, the rest is easy, okay? So I know that media is bullshitting me, right? So the only thing that I need to do in order for my body not to get ill, I need to apply the PTSSP test. Okay. So the next reference, I think most of you know, there are two stable data which anyone has to have, understand, and know are true in order to obtain results in handling the person connected to suppressives. These data are that all illness in greater or lesser degree and all follow-ups stem directly and only from a PTS condition. That getting rid of the condition requires three basic actions: A, discover, B, handle, or disconnect. So, you know, maybe for some people this data is not real. I'm watching people for 18 years. I see my pieces before illness, during the illness, and after the illness. And in any case, almost any case, there are some exceptions, there is a connection to SP, whether present or from a far past. But the obvious thing for me is when the suppressive person is being determined in a case of PC, he starts to get better. There were people who came in already ill, who were ill for years, and auditing and PTS handling helps them to recover and get better. Now, next data is from a lecture briefing of review auditors, and it's a simple data. A PTS, potential trouble source, is a connection with this A suppressive. I'll give you the exact mechanics of it. So, and that's postulate, counter-postulate is an anatomy of problem. So, I mean, in order to be a potential trouble source, you need to get into postulate, counter-postulate with a suppressive person. Not any person, but a suppressive person. Well, of course, not every problem gets you sick, you know. You should be really worried about this problem to get you sick. But some problems are that big that they can possibly make our body ill. So, you know, I don't want to give any wrong guidance to anybody. You know, in addition to regular PTSD, and what I mean by regular PTSD is being PTS to my father, my mother, my wife, my, I don't know, somebody's husband, boss, irregular stuff that auditors handle in session. Now with coronavirus, I also cannot do different things, and it creates postulate, counter-postulates. So I cannot come to a session or study in a course room. I cannot earn money. I cannot congregate with people I want to. I cannot fly to another country. I cannot go to the seashore, which I like. I cannot go to a park, to a restaurant. I cannot walk without a mask. Is it only me or anybody else hate wearing a mask? Anyways, move from city to city. Well, no wonder people are getting sick, you know, they're being actively suppressed by their government in present time, you know. These statistics are real, you can observe it, you can consider it as a fact, you know. This is unemployment rate in Israel. Just before the crisis, we had historically low rates, 3.4%. And look here now, we have above 1 million people unemployed, sitting at home, you know, getting social security. Now, civil rights in Israel, number of emergency directive issued. Now, guys, look, we in Israel had quite a number of emergencies throughout the years. You know, we had wars, you know, military conflicts, we had economic crises, you know, and look here, now, war of 1967, the government issues only 40 emergency directives. And now, with freaking coronavirus, 70 70 directives, you know? So civil rights are obviously being violated here, okay? So I'm going back here to the PTS thing. What we should do with this thing, we should figure out a way to be at cause over all this thing and to erase all the case reactions to this thing in order to confront this or any other crisis. So, and this brings us to the third part of the lecture. I just want to recheck with Michael if you have any questions. Okay, so what Kaspers asked, if it's not my job to handle this situation, so should I do nothing about it? Well, my answer is, of course, no. By all means, we should do something about it. I just say that I, for my post, didn't need to investigate further. But if you, Kaspers, is continuing to get auditing, or you continue to run your Life Power Center in Riga, you are doing something about it, you know? I mean, of course, government officials should investigate who caused this, you know, first, who developed this virus, who, you know, any criminal investigation should take place. I'm not a criminal investigator, so, you know, I can drop you names, but what would that help you in your life? What can you do with this data next? You know, it's somebody's jobs for sure to handle it on a government level. Okay, and I'm going to share with you in the end of the lecture what I think is my way to be cause about it, to handle it in the long run. And the next datum is from the Creed of the Church of Scientology, which was written in 1954. We believe that the spirit can be saved, and that the spirit alone may save or heal the body. Okay, so how can we save a spirit? We need to give him a lot of auditing, and he will do just fine. And yeah, spirit alone may save or heal the body. A spirit takes care of a body, it exercises the body, it feeds the body, and you know, and when a spirit doesn't have a reactive mind, so it can heal the body. What auditing can do for you, what auditing does, it makes a person sane, it gives a person the ability to differentiate lies from truth, gives a person the ability to learn and apply data, gives a person an ability to earn more, erases apathy, fears, anger, body somatics and illnesses, brings a person up the tone scale so that they can take good care of the body, nutrition, exercise, boosting immune system, etc. And the most important thing, it provides the person with spiritual freedom. Tammy told me her cognition last week, Tammy Lemberger, our senior CS, she told me, government can take my money, they can kill my body, they can do a lot of things in the physical universe, they cannot kill me as a spirit. Okay, so Tammy has this certainty because she is high up the bridge, she received a lot of auditing, and spiritual freedom is the most important freedom to stay free as a spirit, and we can achieve it by receiving lots of auditing. Now, all these abilities, of course, can help us to survive this crisis or any other crisis to come. So now the big question, how can we prevent a similar crisis in the future? The reality shows us that irrational people elect irrational governments, and irrational governments act upon irrational agreements. So if we want to change the situation, we have a very, very difficult job. We are on a tough mission, and so my opinion may be unpopular for some people, but I think we don't have any other choice but to roll up our sleeves and to handle individuals by auditing one by one. I know this is a very big mission, probably will take a few lifetimes to achieve it, but I personally don't see any other way to achieve rationality in this planet, to make a majority of people more rational, so they would elect a more rational politicians, government leaders. I want to refer to a question that was asked in the first lecture of Mary Freeman. Someone by name Ilya Nikolaev asked her, amongst other things, so he asked basically two questions. What would you advise young Scientology generation, and how to disseminate Scientology is the most effective way? Mary told him to get trained, which I totally agree with. So I would like to answer the second question, how to disseminate Scientology in the most effective way. So I would like to read you a quote from another rich bulletin, of course. A sure road to award and glory is to find a new application for an existing Scientology process or principle or book. The period of the discovery of principles, processes, or original works is surely over, as we have everything. Inventing and using new processes is a sure way to slow down the advance. Okay, so we don't need to invent new processes. They are already existing. There were only too many anyway, and it's been done. But new ways to apply or disseminate what we've got are welcome, welcome, welcome. Okay, so we need to find new ways to disseminate the existing processes or books. We've not nearly enough of those, and we'll be inventing or seeing them for the next umpty trillion years, a big number of years. So for this purpose, Daniel Lemberger, assisted by us, his staff, 2 years ago wrote a book which is called Life Power Book. The book gives in a very simple and understandable language all the basics of Scientology and Dianetics, and gives 3 simple processes that anybody can apply on his friend or colleague. Of course, I mean auditing. So this book, amongst other things, solves a problem of copyright. So the church doesn't have copyright for this book, and Life Power does. And it also deals with overall illiteracy or declining literacy level, especially with the young readers. You know, young readers can't really read the books that were written in 1950. The language in English, Russian, and any other language is too difficult. There are many other things to tell about it, but I will be short. So this book was translated into several languages, like you see Russian, English, German, French, Latvian, Spanish, Hebrew, not to forget Hebrew. Just a note, the processes which are described in the book are purely elaborate. So just the description of basic principle are by Daniel Lemberger. So this was the first book 2 years ago. And next book is the Complete Communication Manual. It's very simple description of TRs 0 to 4, beautifully illustrated, and very good course was developed based on this manual to a new public. It's important to stress that when the person is done with going through these courses and books, of course, he's getting original LRH writings and data, but by this time he is pretty prepared. So the next book is a series of CNI, Control and Intention, Theory and Practice of Control and Intention. And it, of course, in the same manner, describes the TRs 6 to 9, also beautifully illustrated and very easy to understand. And the last but not the least, our brand new release, Study Essentials. So this is a brand new book. It is, of course, about study tech, and it's again beautifully written with different stories, and it makes the study tech available and to many people. Now, what we found out is that the lower gradient of this book is actually the complete communication manual book. We found that starting a person from this course, from TRs 0 to 4, is our successful action for 92 would be 28 years already of existence of Drawer Center. Any person who came to us and did the communication course, almost everyone was very glad, and he felt he is gaining right from the beginning from doing TRs. It differentiates us with other places of education that gives a lot of theory, because this course gives a lot, you're drilling TRs, so you can feel very quickly changes and wins. And a good product that goes very well into society is effective communication workshop. So what we did, we applied this manual and course, and we repackaged it to deliver the TR 0 to 4 to employees of companies or firms. So we are contacting different firms and companies, and we providing the workers and managers with TR course that is being done in their office, okay? So Eitan, for example, in Israel, goes, drives to an office, takes 6-10 employees and delivers them a live power effective communication workshop, which basically consists of little theory, which is laid out in a beautiful presentation. You can have a taste of presentations. It just, from all over the place. Here's the communication formula. Here's illustrations of, basically OTTR 0 and illustration of TR 0, just to give you a glance. So he gives them a little bit of theory and drilling. So we did this workshop successfully several times in Israel. We did it in New York. And now Gatis and Kaspers from Riga are doing it in Latvia. Their first workshop is going to be over in this Friday. So you can see Gatis, this very nice guy over here, and he is writing something on the whiteboard, but here he has as a basis for his theory already prepared presentation which shows the theory of this session, lesson, or training session. And of course, then they drill, okay? Then they're sitting in pairs and drilling. I plan to be in Moscow in July and in New York in August 2020. And I will be happy to meet with you to assist with promotion using the live power materials. And for this matter, you may reach me at help@drawercenter.com. So if anybody is interested, just write me a mail I pull, you know, and I will send you the data when and where and all this stuff. So thank you very much for being such a great audience, for being attentive and listening and asking great questions. Thank you very much again from Mikhail for organization, for his efforts. It's a lot of effort. Yeah, and you have my mail. You have mail of us, our mail. So please contact us with any question.